So, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Bullet Scotty back with another one. So, I talked about the pay to full. Now I want to talk about the Dame interview with Breakfast Club. I saw it. I watched clips. Um, it's classic Dame. You know what I'm saying? Every interview is a classic Dame interview. Like, if you watched his interview when he was up there with Murder Mook, I speak balls. You know what I'm saying? And he like fessed up uh Envy and Charlemagne. But let me say this, right? A lot of people had a hate about Dame, but Dame do got points. Um, Charlemagne OG is Wendy Williams. Um, and I understand why Charlemagne is politically correct because you got to remember Jay-Z was the one that had him fired when he was in Philly. So I understand. A lot of people try to say it was Puff. It was not Puff. It was Jay-Z. Jay-Z had him fired from I think he was on was it was it Power? It was Power, right? I think Power. Well, I think it was Power. He was up there, but he was in Philly at the time. I think he was doing the morning show or he was doing the afternoon. I forgot, but he got thrown off the radio because of his Beanie Siegel interview that he did, which he got fired the next day when he played the second part. No, the first part he got fired, and the second part played on his last day out, and then he got picked up by Power 105, right, for the Breakfast Club. But I understand he wants to be politically correct because he wants to keep the relationships, and he did come off, on some, because when Charlemagne came on the scene, he was on some 50 Cent shit. I remember when he was on Wendy's show, True Cancer, he was going at a lot of people. He was talking greasy. He wasn't like now. I'm surprised. Like when I see Charlemagne on Power, how he's so much a Jay-Z supporter and fan. I remember days when he was dissing Hov. Like he did not care the way way he was going at Drake and Wayne. That was the same way he used to go at Jay-Z. So when I seen him change his tune, it was because he got almost lost his job. He played an interview where Beans was going crazy on Hov, and I understand where he's coming from. Like Dame, it's like, yo, that's your OG. Wendy's your OG. She put you on, which is true. She did put Charlemagne on because the world would never know who Charlemagne was if it wasn't Wendy Williams bringing him to WBLS, and from WBLS he went on to do his thing in Philly, and then from Philly he ended up back in New York, but he did the Breakfast Club with Envy and Angela Yee. But if you really look at the whole story and you just break it down, Dame had a lot of points in the interview. Now a lot of people's upset. Claudia Jordan is one of them. I don't know if Cam and 50's upset. They live for that. You know what I'm saying? They live for that. That's why I mess with Cam, I mess with 50, and I mess with Dame because they live for the going at it. You know what I'm saying? But I like that Dame. A lot of people shoot Dame, but one thing I respect about Dame is his resiliency. He's a resilient person, and he's a hustler. He got a situation with Revolt. A lot of people say, "Oh, Dame, Revolt denying it," but that's not what the chairman of Revolt said. And my people know the chairman of Revolt also. But the chairman of Revolt did not say, oh, not the chairman, but he's running Revolt right now. He did not say that Dame and Revolt is not in partnership. They are in partnership, but he says the chairman, he's not the chairman. Everybody says, oh, Dame lying. He ain't in no partnership with Revolt. But that's not true. Revolt said he's in partnership with them. If people go read the article, the one that's in charge right now, who's the head of Revolt right now, said they're in partnership with Dame. They're closing in on the deal. They already acquired his programs. They already acquired his documentary. So they in partnership with Dame. Now, however it works for Dame, it'll be good for him. You know, him and Puff, and shout out to Puff and shout out to Revolt. That's black excellence right there. To get Dame involved in that situation. You know, I'm gonna keep it real, man. Dave, Puff, brothers like that, man. You know, whether people like it or not, people say what they want about them, but you got to look at what they did for the culture. Just what they did for uptown culture, bringing it to the mainstream. You know, they brought that culture to the mainstream. You know, when I look at Breakfast Club and how, Charlemagne and them was going in on Puff, it was like Charlemagne. I'm like, damn, bro, like Puff got y'all a situation, and then y'all just flipped. I wouldn't say so much envy, and then even with Dame, like envy was down with Roc-a-fella. Envy was with Dame. I feel like he should defend more of Dame, be more unbiased, because Dame did cut his checks back in the day. Him and Clue was under Roc-a-fella. They was Roc-a-fella DJs for years. This is facts. So I just feel like, people give Dame a hard time, and they call Dame capping and all that, but I don't know why people don't like Dame, man, because Dame stands for his people, you know what I'm saying? And like, y'all gotta look at it, right? Dame is going through what he going through because he didn't play ball with them people. If he'd have played ball, he'd have still been in position like Steve Stout is, right? He'd have still been in position. But because he's not moving like a Stout or Kevin Lyles, you see where he's at. You know what I'm saying? It's just, when you go against the grain, a lot of times they go against you. And that's just how it is when it comes to black, execs and black. Like, when I see brothers like R.I.P. Dame Dash, and not Dame Dash, I mean Irv Gotti. Sorry about that. When I see brothers like Irv Gotti, just the way how he died and went out, that was sad. When I see like the execs like that, like Diddy going through what he going through, Suge Knight, these were brothers that had a dream and made it into a reality, and I just think that as black entrepreneurs, man, it's hard. But I understand how, dudes, feel the way they feel. And Cam got every right to feel how he feel, because Cam is Cam, and they gonna speak how they gonna speak. And I just feel like it should never went to that. I feel like the media turning what it turned into, and it should have never turned into that. Because at the end of the day, man, Dame did a lot for a lot of people, and he helped out a lot of people. It's just sad that the media is not basically highlighting that. But yeah, it's not looking good, man. But my prayers go out to Dame, man. And I just really feel like he deserves a real support, man. People make fun of Dame and all that, but Dame is a small businessman, man. He's not gonna take no losses, man. He's not gonna take no L's, man. He'll even if he not in the position that he was, he gonna always find a way. And that's always been Dame Dash. You gotta remember, this is the man that took Jay-Z to the promised land. This is the man that took Jay-Z and got him out of his contract with Priority Records, and then ended up getting over there to Def Jam and got the deal, got the situation that they got at Def Jam. Come on, man. This is a dude that really, did what he did for Kanye. This is a dude that helped out Cam in his situation after Sony and Columbia was jerking him. So this is a dude that really know the business, you know. So people say what they want, but Dame is a genius, man.